So I got a pair of whites, 350 cruisers. Trust the original, apparently. What's interesting is they come with both these cotton laces. They're really waxed heavy, as well as a set of leather laces, kind of as per typical. Right there. And I'm kind of starting to think maybe I should take the kiltie out. I kind of feel like it's more necessary with leather laces because you can dig in more. And if you look, the tongue on these is, obviously it's thinner leather than the main boot, but it's the same color leather. So with Nicks, it's always a dark brown and it's super soft, so like it doesn't really match the boot. So the kilties just make 100% sense. I'm not sure if maybe I'm going to run these without them. I also noticed on their more like whatever they call lifestyle boots on their website, whites, they, for like the press photos and whatnot on their site, they don't put the kilties in on these boots. Only they're like work, fire, logger style boots. Maybe they're kind of expecting you to wear them without the kiltie. I don't know. I'm not sure about the durability without them. I'm going to show you the sole here. It's what is it? Vibram mini lug, and then it has that same heel base that my Nicks Prospector have, whatever this is, Quabug or something. That's actually kind of interesting because I think, pretty sure with Nicks, if you get the mini lug, you end up getting the mini lug heel, which is like a similar shape and thickness to this one, but it has, a few of these little mini lugs kind of in the middle of it. The heel on these is interesting too. If you look at the profile, you could say it's, I guess, really a logger, not a dogger heel, but it has the, I don't know, it kind of feels like a, maybe it's just because it's smaller, it kind of feels like a dogger heel. But that kind of curvature, I assume, makes it a logger. It's just smaller. And these definitely have they're known for it. Everybody says that they have a lower profile heel than Nicks 55 last boots. I don't have them in front of me right here, but I feel like this heel is pretty similar to my whatever moderate height Prospector heel. It's kind of hard to do a comparison between those though, because they're a leather sole, so this is all leather, so it makes it kind of look thicker than this. But if you like actually put them side by side, I could do that later in another comparison video. I think it would be about the same, because it's kind of has that same look where the arch of the what's it called, of the leather shank kind of comes down. I guess with the Prospector comes down even further to the point that like it contacts right around where that Vibram logo would be. So yeah, these fit. They have these on sale for whatever, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, both. I think I bought them on Monday morning of Cyber Monday. They only had the D width in stock. They only do D and double E, unlike Nicks where there's, kind of infinite options. But they actually stock their D width. Whereas, other than the ready to ship with Nicks, you're waiting regardless of what you do. So I ended up going with the D because I thought, well, one, I could have bought them on the sale with the double E, but I had to wait, and their turnaround time looked pretty long, like Nicks. I forgot how many weeks it said, but, basically months, which means it would put me into potentially spring or summer, and I want to wear boots now in the fall and winter. So I went with the D, and I also thought, I got the 11E with that Prospector because it's 11067, which people say is narrower than the 55, even though it has more toe volume. So I thought, maybe the D in this 55 last would work, and it does. It's possibly a little bit snugger, but not significantly, and it's kind of the same where I got to wear kind of a thinner sock like these Timberland socks I got at Costco a while ago. Even with a mid-weight sock, they're pretty snug right now. It might break in because I noticed that with the, what is it, natural Dublin leather on my prospectors. I remember initially, even with these same socks, it felt pretty stiff or snug. And now after I've kind of broken them in, I was thinking I probably could maybe put a slightly thicker sock. I'm going to try not a mid-weight, but like more of just a puffier cotton sock, whereas this is really more of like a low profile, tighter sock. I think I could probably fit a slightly thicker sock now in those 11067s. The H&W I mentioned, 11E, my Overlanders, even those are finally starting to break in a little bit. They're still very snug in the toe box, but I feel like those possibly I could put a slightly thicker sock at some point, but those are still like the most snug, I guess, in the toe box. The rest of the boot's fine, but the toe box is kind of tight. And then these sort of are, I guess, in between, where it's not as generous as the 11067. You can see the toe box obviously doesn't stick up as much, but it's still, there's still room to, you can move your toes around a little bit. It just doesn't have this. I really like that 11067 last. I think that's probably my favorite. It's the most generous, while you still have kind of that generally snugger fit, and kind of like your heel pops in when you put your foot in, kind of clicks. But the toe rim has a little bit more, a little more generous. But yeah, I just tried these on, so I wore them maybe an hour earlier, and I'm putting them back on now. One difference I did need to mention with Nick's, this is the false tongue. Sorry, that's the false tongue. The real tongue is like a really soft, dark brown leather. With the, let me get more in the light here. With these whites, it's the exact same color. It's just, I think, thinner. It's been cut down or something. And I just couldn't figure out a good folding position. So actually what I found works better with these versus the Nick's, where I like to fold it over, the S fold or whatever. I actually tuck it kind of mostly on this side, a little bit on this side, but mostly on this side. And then when I lace it up, it actually is good. Because when I was trying to tuck it evenly down both sides, it was kind of pinching over here and uncomfortable. And I just can't seem to get a fold to look good. Plus, if I'm going to possibly run it without the kiltie, the false tongue, I don't want a huge fold in the middle of it. And it just seemed like the most comfortable was this. Just kind of tucking most of it on that side and then bringing it together. And I'll tie them up and show you what it looks like, but that kind of worked. All right, so here we are laced up. What do you guys think? Got about they say a two finger thickness. Maybe slightly less up here up front, but definitely here. And obviously, I'll tie them tighter as they break in, but they're still pretty stiff. What do you think? You think I should keep the kiltie in or take it out? I kind of thought I would be opposed to this, whatever you call these, up and down kind of, I don't know, triangles cut out of them. Kind of Western look, I guess. But I don't know, maybe I'm kind of digging it now. Debating if I should take out the false tongues though. But for now, I'll leave them in at least. This first day wearing them. And see where I go. And I might even switch over to the leather laces. But yeah, it's kind of my first look with them. I will throw in a few photos. It's hard to see. I don't really have any good light in here. It's too lazy. But the toes of both of them were pretty scratched up, and the back of one of them has some scratches. I'll throw some photos in when I pull them out of the box, but a little disappointing that Whites doesn't pack them more carefully. I think it was just the toe scratching at the front of the opposing boot because the way they put them in the box. Fortunately, you have Venetian shoe cream and a Corsair brush kind of helped. But there's also some little issues, like look at the stitching overlaps of the two rows. You never see that on, at least my two pairs of Nicks don't have that at all. Both of these are like that. So at least it's consistent. But like the spacing should be, in my opinion, should be the same all the way around. And it's not. It has the correct spacing up into about here, and then it overlaps on the toe. I mean, it's possible it's intentional to keep the toe a little bit less forward, but it's kind of odd. The heel shape is a little bit strange too. They, I don't know, kind of look lumpy. It's hard to describe. They don't have like a nice, I don't know, the curvature is nicer on the Nicks. Just kind of have a little bit of a lumpy, I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, so these are the whites. I think it's C350 Cruiser or just 350 Cruiser. Nice boot, 55 last. More moderate heel. Cheers.